Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marian. Today we'll be continuing our Let's Play of Disco Elysium. So far I've been really enjoying the game and I feel like we're starting to get into the meatier part of the game, so I'm excited where it's going to take us. Alright, so last time we talked to this guy that was up here and he told us that we can look at this rock over here, but quickly I just want to check all this because I actually haven't been over here. Ooh, a hat and some help. What does this hat look like? Oh yeah, we got a little beanie. Increase our reaction speed. What is that? Just a closed door, but you look at it suspiciously. Another splattering of bullet holes on this wall.
The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache. Your breath grows heavier.
Okay.
More old bullet holes. At least half a century. A different era altogether.
There was a revolution, man. Examine closer.
You peer into the faded marks in the stone. They peer back like an endless row of tiny black holes. Sweat starts trickling down your brow. Your chest feels tight looking at them. It's closing in, caving in, ever tighter.
You okay there?
The lieutenant's sudden voice cuts like a blade, bringing you out of the stupor. Breathe out sharply. Huh? Yeah, I'm fine.
You were looking pale there for a second. What are you looking at?
What's with all these bullet holes? I've seen them all around. A lot of them around.
Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old.
Is there something we should do about these?
No, we are not constructors and renovators. And these bullet holes do not warrant an investigation.
Okay, but what can you tell me about the revolution?
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Should we go?
Okay. Dude, I'm so lucky. I have more than, wait, why am I not moving? I'm so lucky I have more than a bar of health. Why can't I look at that? Do I have to be up there, probably? Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot. I can't go into the little greenhouse? What's that? I can't go up there. That's my police jacket. I just want to see if I can go in here. Nope. It's worth a try.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it.
Turn it over.
There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity it doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has many apartments and a man can be in any of them.
How are we going to find the right one?
We'll just have to go in and see.
Put the stone back. We get a skill point? Should I? Hmm. Or should I? I'm not sure what I should do. Should I put something in skill point or unlock a thought slot? Hmm. We have a lot to do now. Holy Toledo. Okay, what should I do? Our psyche is so bad. Can't level that up yet. I think I'm gonna do it. Or maybe not. I can't decide. Actually, I think I'm gonna do this one, yeah. Why not? Okay. Can I go in here? Nope. We can't go in there. Frick, what should we do? Oh, is there something I can do again? Oh, that guy looks so nasty now. Let's talk to what's-her-face again for a second.
Trying to sneak up on me again?
Oh, shush up. Let's just go talk to Kuno then. And then, depending on how that goes, we'll see what we'll do next year. This lighting's kind of pretty. Oh, who's up there? How do I get up there? Wait. I'm so sorry, I'm going so ADD. How do we get up there? I want to go talk to the lady. How do we get up to the roof, though? Not me trying to get in from... Why can't... I don't know how to get up to the roof. Isn't that chick we talked to before? Wait, is it gonna actually, like... No. I was hoping it would take me all the way there. Okay, now I'm getting distracted. I'm so sorry. But I want to talk to the chick. How do we get upstairs? I think this door is still locked. I don't think it even takes
You
us
see
upstairs.
a heavy steel door with the door does not. The old cobalt paint. It leads to a side building. Adjacent.
Alright, I already did that. Can we talk to Gart about anything new?
Can I help you? Another thing. Yes.
The way he says another thing. Oh my god, my cat was pushing the door open and it scared me. How do we get up? How do we get up to the roof? Like honestly, how do we get up there? Oh, you can zoom out. Can I talk to her from here? Kim just merged into the wall. Kim. Lady, I want to talk to you. Oh, maybe... what was this door? Was this the way to the... Let me in. Can I look in the mirror again?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Oh, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. She's...
The door is closed. Still, the lieutenant gives you a quick. He doesn't like where this is going. This door can only be. Still, the lieutenant. He doesn't like.
Okay. I'm curious. I'm not trying to do anything. I just want to get to the roof. How do we get to the roof? I guess that'll be something we do later. Let's go. I'm sorry. I wanted to talk to her. She was fun. She was sassy. Okay, Kuno. Oh, I should save.
care?
Fuck does Kuno care? mm, should I risk it? No, let's talk to... whatever.
So?
Okay. He raises his eyebrows, projecting aggressive indifference. He said to thank you. Wasn't too keen on chasing down that armor anyway.
Fuck, okay. Kuno's a giver like that, yes?
He looks slightly confused.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
We didn't rough up anyone for you, honey.
Good idea.
Yes, let's move on.
That's what Kuno said. Don't be saying what Kuno said back to Kuno. Get the fuck out of here, Patterson Kuno.
This kid, man.
After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
The fuck do you want with it? Oh, that? Kuno decapitates. Yeah, Kuno plays on snuff radio. Good call, Pigmeister.
Okay, let's
Don't
just
come
fucking...
and talk to Kuno about...
What's going
Damn
on?
it.
Is an ungovernable youth on your crime scene, throwing around incendiary language, trying to push your buttons.
You know, listen, I know this boundary pushing thing is new to you, but it's old news for us grown-ups.
Get your snout out of Kuno's ass. Kuno knows how hard Kuno put. You should give up, Popo, or the
You okay, Kuno?
The coon has her confused.
That went wrong. He took
Back.
it as a compliment.
Kuno doesn't fucking...
This kid.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't...
Bloody heck.
The rotting man. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Didn't we already do the autopsy? Anyway, let's just try this again. Tell me how you are, dead man.
The fish
Damn it.
I told you. He is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
I don't wanna.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Oh boy. We are so clueless. Honestly, I have gloves, but let me see if he has gloves he can give me. Do you have another pair of gloves?
Unfortunately, no.
I have gardening gloves. Maybe they're enough?
They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes.
We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
Open your ledger at the field autopsy
The
form.
dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
Begin. Number 1 assistant.
That's you.
Write the initials HDB.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says,
Number 2 coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you.
Well, we don't even remember a damn name, dude.
That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your
Mhm.
initials.
Write it down.
Next,
Let's not argue when we don't even know our own name, dude. Number 3, name.
NA. Next.
Number 4, date of birth.
NA.
Number 5, age.
Roughly 50.
Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
Is it? I'm gonna write 42.
He nods.
Number 6, race.
Mondial.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish.
Write it down.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat
Ew.
looks neither mondial nor
Why'd you
anything other.
Why'd you have to call it curdled meat? Number 7, sex.
Fucky, fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs
Oh
can have
my
sex.
god. Right, male. Oh no!
Naively, the lieutenant does not double-check your notes.
No, I didn't mean to do that. Ah, I clicked on the wrong thing. Fuck. Number 8. Oh, fuck. Number 8, date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51.
I'm so mad that I clicked that.
What else?
I'm so
9.
sorry, Kim.
Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
11, evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
He places his hands on the dead man's chest as if in preparation.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the
The
page.
corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Oh my god. Kuno, fuck off.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
But couldn't we take the boots? Kim?
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
I really should behave, but I kind of want them. When am I gonna get them?
Patience. After the autopsy, Before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity.
I really shouldn't do
After the
that.
lieutenant has gone to sleep.
No.
I hope this has helped you, my liege.
I'm conflicted. No. Okay, I'm not gonna I don't want to disappoint Kim. Write it down.
The boat has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design.
I really want them, but I really don't want to disappoint Kim either. Write it down.
Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow. Length, 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing.
Write it down.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
I don't want to touch it. Are we even wearing the gloves? Write it down. Short light brown, male pattern baldness.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max.
Kuno.
Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write down.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling out the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
Steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Oh yeah, I'm prepared. Pet the chain
The
cutters.
hanged man lets out a joyous little
Ew.
bubble of rot from his nose.
Good thing we got these chain cutters. Pull out the rubber grip cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
He points to the rope, squeezing the dead man's neck.
we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much
dear.
precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
Okay,
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
oh, I'm scared. Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck,
Ew.
swelling over the edges like white
Dude, the
bread
descriptive.
rising from the east.
Ooh, the descriptors are gnarly.
The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters
thank
fit
God.
in there. Steady now. Like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
I'm scared. Cut the belt off.
After
Oh, thank
some
God.
deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Press down.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
The lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Write it down.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia.
He pulls down the man's underpants.
No, it's gonna happen. See.
Oh my god, you guys are little freaks.
I fucking knew it.
This is clearly what they've been waiting for. ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Inspect the genitals.
The dead man's penis is average-sized,
Ew.
congested from the downward
Okay,
Back
we're
is
good.
symmetrical and intact.
We don't need
Upper and
that.
lower
We don't need
extremities
that.
are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
Write it down.
Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves onto the other hand. Pick up the hand.
The hand is surprisingly heavy to lift, filled with decay liquids. Feels as though it could explode if squeezed harder. You're suddenly repulsed, so much so you feel compelled to drop it.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination. Summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
If I may add the moral of this story.
What would that be?
He looks at you inquisitively.
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood
I
supply.
think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
The lieutenant grins. Oh my god, I just got the achievement. Get Kim to really trust you. Yeah. Alright, NA.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the
Ew.
dead man's
Oh,
throat
no.
and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips,
That's
black
disgusting.
and viscous.
That's disgusting.
You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh,
Oh my god.
like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
These kids are so annoying.
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Write it down.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air,
Oh God,
unlike
please
anything
don't.
living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in.
Look deeper inside.
You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness.
Disgusting.
Mute silence as always.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Lieutenant repeats impatiently. He lets go of the jaws. The mouth snaps shuts before you. Write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust.
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts.
Am I an expert in those things?
Nothing in your alcohol-soaked memory directs to having forensic expertise on either one.
I don't think
Neither
so.
am I.
And that's it?
That's it.
Right, NA.
Same for toxicology and serology, NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
Would obscure tidbits and odd trivia fit the fields?
No.
The completionist in me wonders if there's something more we could do. Something we could
Like
do
a
still.
toxicology screening. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Write NA and add toxicology requested.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Write it down.
Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around to the ground, the pool of feces there.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
No. Write it down, omit the voila.
What's next on the list?
A description of injuries, summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Bite marks?
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
Write it down.
And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal postmortem?
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Uh-huh.
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath the description of injury, 2 boxes.
Non-fatal postmortem.
Right. Next.
Ligature mark.
Dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Write it down.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
What else would it have been? Opinion, fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
What now? Conclude.
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg
Rip out a copy of the autopsy
for
pages.
processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Dude,
I'm gone.
nice. I can see you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
You are now, but who were you when you were alive?
A killer.
a motherfucker, and a killer.
I have another question for you.
Go ahead, Coppo.
Where have you gone?
Into the wild pale yonder.
Where is that?
In the past, way out in the west.
I can't get the damn compartment in my ledger open.
The Blue Heart. Oh, that's good shit. You'll love it. Just press down and fuck it open like you always do.
I did not like that. I did not like how he said that.
Fuck it hard. Corpo the clown.
Oh, I do not like that.
He means force. It'll work.
What is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your
Black, frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lips.
imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions.
Why do I love questions so much?
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Yeah, give me questions.
Here you go, you loony.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Rooney is obviously not who I am.
Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
Could I really be Harry?
You can be anything you want, brother Corpo.
Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible?
Because you have.
I hate you, you stink and you're
Do I
boring.
remind you of someone?
A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
A baby affected with harlequinism.
You sure got out of that one? Coppellini.
Enough.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Look under his fingernails like him already
His
did.
fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. There is dirt under them. That's all.
Do you think we missed something?
Yes, there's something we're
Okay,
not seeing.
We are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast.
Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body?
Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus? in the
Yeah! He points toward the commercial area. Why, yes, there was.
Now, detective, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge, but I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry him over. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will become harder to find.
Damn, I wish I had found that earlier. Okay, we just leveled up too. Check out the fridge in the commercial building. Okay, let's do that real quick. feel like this is the long way to go. I just don't remember where we came out of from the other entrance. Oh, I should put on my flashlight. There you go. I already looked at this, right?
Tiles on the cube are
I really wonder where that key is, or password is.
The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside the fridge slowly melting. The power has been cut off.
So what do you think of this fridge, Kim? It looks big enough for 2 corpses.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it's more than big enough and cold enough. Honestly, it's perfect. All we have to do is plug the fridge back in.
Okay, let's do that. And get Kim to help you move the body. Plug in. Okay, let's do that.
Both cables are unplugged. From somewhere, a machine hums along with the current. Happy and
Can I pry this open yet?
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has
Did we turn it back on? Nope.
only the black cable is plugged. Something close.
Why did you do that?
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't. A giant electric mammal awakens.
Great. The owners of this building will just have to keep paying for the electricity sucked up by this monstrosity a little longer. Let's return to the fridge.
Yes, sir.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
The fridge is plugged in now. Will you help me with the body, Kim?
Of course. I'll take the head, you take the feet. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but we'll manage.
Okay, let's do this. Clap your hands.
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement. Then 10
The
more
noises,
minutes
though.
to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Damn, we just shoved his ass in there.
Beautiful. A dead body in a nice bare fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
Really? You think it's good work?
No, not really. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in a nice bare fridge. This story does not leave this room.
We did our best with the means at our disposal.
Did we though?
I mean,
Maybe we did.
what else were we gonna do?
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting. Your arms reach out and
Nice.
your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
Crawl up his
They are
nostrils.
swollen shut. You need to really push
Ew.
to get in.
Push your fingers in his nose.
Only the little one fits.
Ew.
The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage. The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out,
Oh,
spider.
I do not like this imagery. Put your fingers in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop.
Your eyes were closed? Open your eyes and look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Say abrasion collar.
Abrasion collar.
The lieutenant looks in. There's a pen in his hand. His notebook is open at the copy paper. Touch it with your finger, gently.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put your finger in.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Brainstem?
Yes, that's what this part is called.
Feel around
The basal
first.
ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex.
What? Are you saying he was shot?
This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Push deeper.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
Holy shit.
This is what he used to regulate his emotions with.
There's a cavity, cut, right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound
I'm
isn't
so scared I'm
wide
gonna
enough
explode
for
his
the
head
rest
with
of
my
your
freaking hand.
to follow.
Wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
Inspect the skull
There's
first.
a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
Holy shit.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
I'm still scared it's gonna fail. Fish it out. Thank God. I keep getting scared by the rats that are like up here.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just...
Slowly pull your fingers
The
out.
inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. Drop it in. Holy shit.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-calibre. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Keep it, Lieutenant, as a gift.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
The lieutenant drops the bag in your bloody hand. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity, temporary cavity in brain tissue, small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds like heaven.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Goddamn right.
And one last thing, we should amend injury number 3, ligament mark.
Mm-hmm.
New opinion, non-fatal, post-mortem, treatment.
Mm-hmm.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Dead, dabba, doop, doop.
Dead.
I love it. Thanks for playing along, Kim. You think so?
I did not just come up with this. I've had my doubts since you showed me the tracks, officer. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him? There is no satisfactory explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost. There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
I don't know, because we would have seen the entry rune. Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Maybe they just shot him while they hanged him?
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it does not explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me.
Kim, you're not intellectually sloppy. Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer?
I just asked that. I'm
the real
silly.
motivation?
I think I need to wash
What really-
myself.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure
Sorry,
to make use
I
of
just
it
snorted.
in the evening.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers?
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
Oh, definitely.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him
What
to
if
the
it's our
holding
gun?
pen of my kinema. I
No,
can
it can't
transport
be.
him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
You'll be gone? What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this.
You right.
I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Oh, no, Kim, you.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
I mean, the day is almost over. So, we could just do silly little things until he's back tomorrow. Okay, so... Let's see if he has anything else.
Looney Rooney.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. How do you like it in the fridge?
I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest hour. You're a genius. A regular Corpelangelo.
Copolangelo.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
I could try the ledger again. One second. I have a lot I need to try. Okay, let's look at the bullet.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag. bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found.
Feel the bullet through the
The
bag.
squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
What do I do with you, bullet?
What?
The lieutenant steps closer. I said, what do I do with you, bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me.
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Inspect the bullet closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a jacketed bullet, close to 5 millimeter in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
What if it's the one that looked new that we found in the wall? Okay, let's try this. Try to determine what type of weapon shot this. Please let me win.
A rifle,
Yes.
Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century.
Oh shit, I sold the
Probably
gun,
an
didn't I?
antique, or a retrofitted antique.
Make?
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago.
Is anyone still making these rifles?
But Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Margrave rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for a well-preserved antique, most likely.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I think I know where this came from. Dangle the bag thoughtfully.
Okay. And?
The shot probably came from a Belmargrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Ravachol, really.
Why not?
Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Makes you consider every shot. I like it.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Seems we're looking for an antique enthusiast.
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
I sold that gun. It was... Oh. Working. So it probably wasn't the one we found and sold.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a kapot.
It means there are firearms.
He likes this find.
Hmm. Okay, I don't think it was that gun we found earlier because it says working gun. So what should we do? I feel like we're almost done, so... Or should we do something else for... I don't really think there's anything else. I can't get over here yet, or here yet. I think because we're so close to the time. Can I talk to
Yes?
him? No. Okay. Let's just. Sorry, I'm so indecisive. Let's just get him to take
The
the
bear's
body.
eyes are still glowing red.
Let's
It's
beg.
guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside
Yes.
its belly.
Let's beg him, Kim, take him away.
All right.
He takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing.
You'll be fine.
Oh well, in another life.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Bag the corpse and drag it to the motor carriage. No, I'm alone. I'm alone now. Instant composure. I haven't found music yet. Let's go wash ourselves. We're gross.
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you.
Gross. Run yourself a bath.
The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
Undress, close your eyes, and submerge.
The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting, like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies.
Like sad duckies. Take the beer cans out.
Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub.
Linger in the tub a
Your
little.
fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools.
Imagine
You
something.
see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench.
Mm-hmm.
Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
Nice. We clean. Now what do we do? Whoops, sorry. Let's see.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face.
No, probably not a good idea.
The bed is still
Excuse me. I don't want to do anything crazy.
The door is still.
Nothing. Did we already talk to Did we even talk to this guy? Nope.
Oh, hello, dear. There.
Can I? You're already set for the night. Your door is unlocked. Another thing. Yes?
Another thing. We're definitely not talking to these guys without Kim. And that would be a silly idea. Can I try this again?
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito. Bullet.
Oh!
There is a hollow ring as you kick the box. Your toe has suffered damage.
That
It
was
hurts.
really stupid of me. I should have known better. Kim leaves, we just injure ourselves immediately. I forgot. Let's look at... There was something we wanted to look at. Our ledger, right? Oh, I didn't look at that. But let's try this again.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board.
Let's try it again.
Just relax.
Yes!
The two sides of the board are slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. All you need to do is bend the plastic on your knee, slowly. The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound. The two panels move
I'm scared.
against
What's
each
inside?
other. The compartment is now open.
What's
Two
inside?
ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Oh, that is a very extreme response. Pick up the ticket
Two
stubs.
octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Is this from his wife? Smell it first.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Put it back. Open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand.
Are we about to be really depressed?
A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy.
I guess we are Harry.
Throw it away, please.
But it will make me happy.
A merciful wind blows in from the bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it.
Hold on to it. Read the card.
Your hands shake, holding onto it. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Keep reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it.
Keep reading.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on.
Hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Fall sideways. Did I just die? What happened? Did I die?
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing.
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout.
Just lie there, passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
No, I was cool. I'm cool.
The cool when you're dead, brother.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you do?
Smelled so nice.
It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Where's Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Was that the X something? The...
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was
That is
not
mean.
the problem.
Stop being mean to yourself. Enough. Just lie there, motionless.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious.
Oh god. Don't tell me they gave me alcohol.
Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Oh, Kim. Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
How is Kim back already? I thought it would be a day even if...
Drink. Water.
The lieutenant is extending a small canister to your mouth. You're back?
Mm-hmm. No drink.
Drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Drink.
With greedy gulps, You down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
I'm also taking a drink of water. Thanks for reminding me, Gabe.
What happened?
I came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
He hands you the remains of your ledger.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
I found this next to you. I'll tag along for the rest of the day if you don't mind. My business is concluded anyway. Are you okay to go?
Just nod.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Cool. I don't think I interacted with this. I didn't look at this
The
yet.
note is written with a blue pencil on
Oh no,
a
I
piece
did.
of
I
line.
did look at this. I looked at that. Yes, I looked at that. What was that new? White morning. You see yourself from above. You're passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Even from this distance, you can see your eyelids flutter at the mention of what? A great white object letting out its sweet smell like a lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling, and look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend, a bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. Can we talk to Kim?
Yes?
No. Okay. I'm kind of glad that prompted him to come back. I guess we could question the lorry drivers now. Or can we sit on the
For
bench?
worn and beaten.
We can sit on benches after we've...
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is
Oh.
gone.
Thanks. Next time I'll do that instead of causing myself to have a mental breakdown. Oh, what's that? Scribbled between the thighs of a page 3 girl. L'origine du disco. Is this guy still stuck over there? Yep. Feels bad, man. Okay. I really want to buy that. I wonder if we can... It says we have 2. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go see and check if we can.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? What would you like to know? Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of...
Detective, may I remind you that...
Then what does that say? 33A? Yes. Anyway. The boat? My sloop?
I'm enjoying...
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Officer.
The crowns of her teeth are pulsing. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the way.
Oh my. The...
Detective, may I remind...
Then what does that... 33... Yes. Anyway. Good.
I'm trying to see if I'm... I thought Maybe.
What we...
There was a touch of discomfort there.
The Pines, and that is...
The Wild Pines Group is one of the...
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but 20 billion... A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If you mean aside from being the term... There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over.
Ooh.
I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
Wait, which was the one I was looking at? Wait, what's the point of this then? I want to ask her for money.
More lessons in basic reality?
Ooh.
My favorite part of the day. Go
What
ahead,
is-
ask me anything.
Think of something close to you.
6 kilometers
Nice.
southwest in the Valley of Dogs. Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass.
That's
To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
what? What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
She says energetically. The Revachol Citizens Militia?
Preciso mundo.
Good, and what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
He's being sarcastic.
You said de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
So basically, I'm gonna avoid the question. To avoid the subject. Okay. So I'm basically a lackey of capital?
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it.
She leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
I mean, that part was obvious, Joyce, but thank you. Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
She bows and smiles. What are you?
What I am not is a basic term of reality.
She smiles.
There may be a way to get her speaking about herself at some later juncture.
What is this? Spread your
A
hands.
bird? A Sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Am I really that awkward?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
She looks around. What is Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a oh my goodness, my brain. Dilapidated. Did I say that right? Dilapidated. My brain. Reset. Splat, splat from a dilapidated balcony. Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Don't think you're on.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to I want to say Sydney, my brain. Cindy the Skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat, all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead.
I mean, it is kind of hard to go against the norm when it's shoved down your throat.
All right. What next?
She pauses to take a long, leisurely sip of tea.
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I may be part of an infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco!
I can see that, yes. I dabbled in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory.
Well, it's not anymore.
Nothing infra about disco, baby.
Your disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
The new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-coloured everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now.
She raises her eyebrow at you. Sounds fun. I can't remember a single thing.
Wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there?
Wait, Guillaume Le Million? I was just thinking about that guy. Whatever happened to him?
Ah, yes. This is not very central to reality, is it?
I still want to know.
I can't be 100% sure, but I believe he died due to complications from venereal disease.
Are you sure he didn't die of autoerotic asphyxiation?
You can't get a venereal disease from that, can you?
Which one?
All of them.
So you're saying he didn't vanish in a puff of stardust?
I'm afraid no. But then again, one can't be entirely sure. It's all part of his mystique. Ask someone else and you may get a more champagne-coloured take. Anyway, what other basic facets of reality should we discuss?
What times are these?
Unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a big flash of teeth. What's the big time?
The revolution.
And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare.
And the apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
Okay, neutral.
On the other hand...
She turns north to the bombed-out buildings lining the waterfront, then shivers slightly. Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
40 million?
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
That's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place.
I mean, it's kind of fucked choice.
Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
So they got lucky.
She's one of them, of course.
Mm-hmm. If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head.
I mean, not shooting people in the head would be pretty freaking great, in my opinion.
At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do.
Oh.
They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
What should I say? Fuck it. I don't think I am a moralist, ma'am.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
Oh my god. Rooty tooty pointy shooty.
That's the way of history.
When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Sarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
The parallels a little bit. What did this Zarath do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Whoa, really?
Of course not.
Oh.
It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material.
I was like, what?
The pandemic only provided the spark.
I was like, there's no way. And then I was genuinely like, are you going to explain that? And then she's like, no.
It was a funny time in history. They discovered transistors and rock music, but they didn't know anything about prions. Nobody did.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far.
Whoops.
The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer.
She
Our
spread...
lives in the zone of control.
She spreads her arms, raincoat flapping in the wind. What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-islary communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Wait, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
That's when they discovered disco.
Yes. And quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isola-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Woo!
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Which side was Wild Pines Group on?
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
They got lucky.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom.
You would have sided with the king?
I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was.
Okay, girl.
10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
I asked you. Who are you in all this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
I don't know, man. None of these things. I would have sought a medical solution. Sounds like Zarath drove those people mad.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion? A complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago.
With some hygiene, modest social care, and perhaps a little research
Good
program.
hygiene. Really. A very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half measures that doom
I don't
the
know,
authorities in
ma'am.
Grad.
I don't know.
When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party stepped in. In this particular case, maybe a more robust state response might have been appropriate.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable.
Understandable. Jesus. That's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Now's your chance. Ask her who she is. She won't get out this time.
Seriously, I want to know what you are. She hums.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
Stop dodging. What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A
Damn.
devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
I don't understand. What's so vile about that?
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. I can see you thought I'd gone extinct. No sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
I forgive you, but only because you're charming.
A devil who being of great charm and guile sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Dale. Shake your head slowly.
I hope so. I hope we are able to continue as friends despite my scaly bulk, and the insanity, bloodshed, and transfer of wealth that took place here. It was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, ma'am.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
Yeah? Yeah, I could see that.
You're no dummy yourself.
No, or intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket.
Oh, you have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
I'm surprised she let us know that. What is this acute encephalopathy? I said that so wrong.
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective.
I'm probably fine.
In case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
What causes encephalopathy? Encephalopathy. Oh my god. I give up. Encephalopathy.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
It's definitely the drinking.
She nods slowly.
What was the RCM again?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law in...
Yes,
He's being sarcastic.
Are we?
we are.
Yes. That the RCM.
All three are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm basically a thrall to foreign interests?
There's nothing basic about
No,
yet.
same
The
reply.
they called...
That's somewhat Revachol.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me... And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms, I'm glad to have been of assistance.
Thank you. What did we just complete? Ah. Okay. Now, let's... Okay, let's unlock another. I mean, this is halfway done. This seems kind of funny. I think this... I think I want to do this one. Oh.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Bruta.
What is my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what's the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
What is fascism, though?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revachel's problems?
Financiers?
Yes, them, but also women.
No.
Women, men of war. You don't like them. They're insane.
What?
Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol.
Where is this coming from?
Women need to go back to the fucking kitchen. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that women need to know their place.
But I'm a feminist.
Feminists? No, it can't be. Not you. No one believes this.
Did you know you can forget thoughts? Go to your thought cabinet and forget all about feminism.
No. Am I having some kind of stomach seizure?
Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth.
Why am I getting this?
Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, you've said them many times.
Fascism sounds so bad, though. What if we called it something else, like a traditionalism?
Okay. Yes, let's call it that. Good thinking.
Okay.
That sounds much better. Traditionalism. You like the sound of that.
Okay, stomach, I've made my mind up about fascism.
You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Brota.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be played by an upset stomach.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment. What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
That's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's got to keep it sane around here.
The air suddenly feels calmer, more transparent in a strangely tender way. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
First, where is this Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
How do you bring about those circumstances?
Incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
But what about all the things that are wrong now?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future.
You're not wrong.
You may never live to see the Kingdom of Conscience. Your children may not. Even
Hey, you
your
don't have to be so
grandchildren
morbid.
might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What rationality? What sang-froid? What benevolence?
Wait. Is the Kingdom of Conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo?
Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
Yes?
There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress.
Okay, but what's the Kingdom of Conscience actually like?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend and even more difficult to describe. Partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The Kingdom of Conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
Frick it. Sounds incredible. Alonzi, let's go there right now.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Alright, then let's get there eventually?
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol.
Oh my
When that
goodness.
real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
Jesus, I have so many thoughts. I wonder if I should be unlocking them more. Is it bedtime? Can I look at this yet again?
Just an ordinary wall.
Ooh.
Nothing to see here.
Why am I looking at this wall? Please, please, please.
Yeah.
Darn.
Why?
Why must we stop to...
Darn, I failed again. Oh, the lady's gone. Is everyone asleep? They just leave their balls out there? I'm just gonna go to sleep. I am a little concerned how I'm gonna make enough money. Is it not bedtime yet? See you in the morning. Yes. Good night, Kim.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting, but it's yours.
Can
You've earned it.
Wait, can I, like, fix the window?
The window stands broken in its front. You see some lights.
Guess not. Okay, bedtime.
The bed is still cold. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. Waves
The
are
voice
coming,
is so funny.
carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man.
Why?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
And there's a lot of it, ever present in your organs. It's like every one of them has their own nasty song to sing.
Definitely sounds like hell.
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
I'm sorry, Cells. It's all me. It's my fault.
Now, you're finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you.
I think I need medical attention.
Oh, yes. That'll check you out.
Oh.
Give you some pills.
That's not what I
Make it
need.
all okay. The Wonder Makers.
Don't be stupid, Harry. It's not happening. They don't make new kidneys and livers in hospital. All you've got to do is pray to God it passes and stare at the flickering darkness.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
I will. I'm looking at people all the time. I like them.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
Some of them are. Some of them are nice. Others are scared. At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears, full of secrets. People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Goddamn. Open your eyes. I'm tired after that all that. Dang. Oof. Rough day. Okay, I'm gonna do a hard save and then we'll continue here. I just paranoid that something might happen.